Hey, what's up, everyone? So, treadmill talk number 3. This one is actually going to be the easiest discussion that I've had yet because it really started off with, let me move that a little bit. There we go. It's almost like I needed to talk about fear and anxiety today because it was a day of a lot of fear and anxiety for people yesterday. I got to speak to the lovely Gemma, and we started talking about fear and anxiety a little bit. Then got to the gym. Another discussion on fear and anxiety that one of my teammates was having. Got on the ThinkShare channel with Zach, and we actually started talking about fear and anxiety. And my wife had a moment of fear and anxiety. And so it's almost like, Cliff, this is what you talk about today. So whoever needs to watch this, good luck to you. But when it comes to having it, see, in today's age, we have, I almost want to call it this anxiety on steroids. Why do I call it that way? Well, at one time, the only time we had to be afraid was when we were being hunted by something. So we would act on the fear. And acting on the fear, you didn't have time to really be scared. If a lion was chasing you, yeah, you're afraid, but you didn't have time to feel it and really know, oh my God, I'm afraid. My heart's racing, I'm sweating. You're just running. You're focusing, I got to get out of there. But now in this day, it's a new day and age. And so the type of fear that we put upon ourselves, we let it accumulate. We can sit and think on our fears. And it becomes an analysis by paralysis. You can't even move anymore. You're so consumed with this feeling. And when you can have the perception to really realize it's just feelings and realize how these feelings are working for you, I think it's really going to help you combat a lot of the fears and anxieties you have. You got to realize your body is preparing you for something. And if you allow it to prepare you properly, watch what happens. You want to have a little bit of fear in life, but you want to have the fear to make you push forward, to make you move. Just as the person who was running from the lion back in the day, it was a necessity. Use it as a necessity instead of a weakness. And that's when we make the fear so much stronger than it has to be, because you use that fear to stop you from doing things. So you're going in the reverse of what your body wants and needs. Fear is a good thing within limitation. Have you ever seen an overly confident individual? They don't call them confident anymore. They call them arrogant. So when you believe you can't be beat, you can't be stopped, that's dangerous. You see how you need that little bit of balance? It's not overcoming it per se. You don't need to overcome fear, but you need to control fear. And you control it by the steps that you take in your life. If you're having a moment of an anxiety, a couple steps you can try and do. Take a few deep breaths. Focus on your finished product. Focus on the goal that you know you're going to achieve. And with focusing on that goal, it's having the faith, knowing that everything's going to work out. Because when you have the faith and you know things are going to work out for the better, but you know it because you're going to invest in yourself enough to know it. And that's where you're balancing that fear. You need to have it because it's going to challenge you. You want to be challenged. And you want to overcome. And you need to focus on you. Absolutely on you. Too many times, people want to get on that mountaintop that they're looking to successfully get on. I call it, whether it's the mountaintop, look in the mirror, do what you need to do to be great, greatness within, all of those things I talk about. It means if you focus out on everybody else, you'll never get to where you're looking to get. And honestly, those fears and anxieties will only amplify because you're looking at everybody else doing everything else. Let me tell you, if you just get on the mountaintop one time, would it have been worth it? Would your life have been worth it to you? I think that would be a fulfilling life for anybody. To say, I climbed my mountaintop. And some people may ask the question, why do certain people help people? What are you doing? What do you get out of it? As human beings, we need to be fulfilled some way, somehow. And so we need to do something special in our personal lives to feel fulfilled. And too often we trick ourselves into leading these mediocre lives. And you get on your deathbed and you're like, I really didn't do anything with my life. That's a bad place to be. So I want to tell you now, before you're there, you have until, I don't know. Everybody's timeline's different. I really don't know. But I would hope and pray that everyone had 90 to 100 years or maybe a little bit more. But you have to act in your moment. Because when you act and learn in the moment, you'll do the things necessary that you need to do, and the fear won't be able to take over. You'll be too busy doing, acting. That's why it becomes so strong. Because when you don't do and when you don't act, everybody's like, oh my goodness, does this guy not know? Or this girl not know? We're scared? Let's do more. Ah! So I give an example. The lovely Gemma, she acted on her anxiety. It wasn't wrong in any way. She stopped a live event early because she had to act on it. That's actually the right thing to do. Because we're all at different stages. I'm not there to judge a person on the stage that they're at. And that's what it comes down to. I don't need to judge a person on where they're at. I'm too focused on my stuff. And my stuff is, I'm going to make you feel great today. You know why? Because I feel great. Why not let you feel great too? Greatness within, baby. That's what it's about. But if you are a go-getter and an achiever and a doer, you're at, let's see, I want to make it I want to make this relatable on several sides of the coin. You take an individual who can bench 500 pounds. Or you take an individual who had the perfect wedding. And they're still focused on achieving more in their life. They don't have time to judge anybody else. They just don't, because they're too focused on doing what they need to do. And when you're focused on doing great things, everybody wins, because one, people get to see them achieving those things, and there's one or two ways to go about this. Some people can hate. Some people can say, oh, this person's on steroids, that's why they're benching that, or oh, this woman married into money, that's why she's got this wonderful wedding. Or they can congratulate. And when you congratulate, you are focusing in on yourself. That's awesome. That makes me want to do great things. Wow, that guy benched 500 pounds. That makes me want to work on my workout game a little bit more. Wow, what a wonderful wedding. I want to have a wonderful wedding. And so, when you take it and you change the perception of doing, becoming, finding that mountaintop that you're looking to climb up, you don't have the time to let it take over your life. You don't have the time to let those fears and anxieties take over your life. When Gemma stopped her live stream, she didn't let it take over her life. That's actually empowering for her. And if anyone's so busy judging her, which I didn't really see, I actually got to hear a lot of love and a lot of support and a lot of, you good? Are you okay? That's awesome. That's what it's about. Because the second you're saying, oh my God, she just couldn't take it. Okay, you're in a dark place and you probably don't want to surround yourself with a person like that, and that's okay. You wish them the best regardless. But a person who's not in that dark place, they're going to lift you up. And they're going to let you get past your own barriers on your own time. We all have different barriers that we have to get through in our life. And I'm too focused getting through mine. And I want to teach other people how to get through theirs. Because I've gotten through a lot of barriers. And let me tell you, it's a great feeling. And it's easy to do. It's not that hard. I love how, man, I can't stop hearing all these gurus talking about how you need them. This is why you need me. Because yada, yada, yada. You don't need anybody. You don't need anyone. You just need you. That's all. That's it. Now you can have guides. You can have people help you get there. I'm going to start coaching sessions. I will. But I'm not going to tell you, here's the thing, I'm the only way. And you have to do it, and you have to do it within 5 minutes. Because if you don't make this payment in 5 minutes, it goes away forever, and then the payment doubles, and blah, blah, blah. That's actually buying into people's fears. Why? If you're really a big, firm believer in doing right by people, yet you're going to create that kind of fear in their word, that kind of marketing, action-based, you got to act now. No. You want to be scared today? All right. Have a game plan, though. Get your game plan out. Don't let it maintain, because no one wants to maintain anxieties and fears. If you're at an insane level of fear, to where my fear is different than everybody's, and you need to go to a professional, and let them help you surpass that. Because when you surpass that, you know it's going to be one of the best damn feelings you'll ever have. You know it. And so, take the time to invest in yourself. Always invest in yourself. I've been a successful trainer for a long, long time. Successful fighter. Successful athlete. And I don't need to tell people how much they need me. I do want to guide people into their success. And when you guide them there, and it's not forced, and it's not, you ever hear of buyer's remorse? Where they, oh my God, I gotta do this, and then they realize it wasn't all that much. If a person's so focused on getting the sell, they're probably not the best person to go through anyway. And when you believe in people and have faith in people, truly have faith in people, you'll take the time to understand that person. I've talked to a lot of people over the years, and I might not remember everybody's name, but I remember faces, and I remember every one of their stories. And they're all so similar because you have two faces of the coin. And the people who end up becoming successful and end up doing certain things in life, they act through it instead of letting it grow and fester. Because I've seen people who just didn't quite get to where they needed in life. And they didn't quite get there because they let it consume them. And they let it overcome them. I want to give a shout out to actually every YouTube person that I talked to yesterday. So I got to give a shout out to Gemma, to Ty, to LeVar, to Zach. Those were all people who took a leap and took the moment to go past fear. Because if you don't think going onto social media and creating videos for your first time isn't a scary thing, you know you're lying to yourself. Like, people say public speaking is one of the scariest things you can do. But when you're going on this camera, like, I know how to talk to people, and I still had trouble going on the camera the first time. I'm like, I'm talking to this camera. This is kind of tough. And I talk to people on a regular basis. My wife says I talk too much. Like, did you really have to talk to him for 3 hours, babe? Like, I'm sorry, we're just having, when you have those in-depth conversations, time goes away. It's not even there anymore. And I know I drive my wife crazy about it, but she loves me anyway, and she knows I'm doing it for the betterment of people. Because I just love people. And I love hearing their stories. It's almost like you guys are a way of me reliving life through you in a positive way. We are taking and receiving, or we're receiving and giving. We're constantly receiving and giving. So if you go to a great sporting event and you receive that, wow, this is awesome, I get to experience this, they're experiencing it through you and you're experiencing it through them. But the same is true when you talk about how crappy everything is. See, when you're constantly throwing darkness at people, they're just going to throw it back at you. So that's how much of a mirror effect we really are. So take the time to throw, if you want to have good things happen to you, if you want people to like you, if you want to feel okay in your life, throw it at people because they'll give it back to you in return. That's what it's about. And so, doing that enough, there's not a better feeling than it. Like, it's just feels amazing. I'm sure anyone would agree when you have something happen great to someone you care about. Wow, that's awesome. And if you can somehow contribute in that, wow, that's an even better feeling. Like, that's what it's about. That's what life's about. Living your journey. Focusing on your journey. Because I find it funny. We have car insurance, house insurance. We have all these things we take care of because we think they'll fulfill us inside. We have health insurance, but do we really insure our minds? Like, do we take time to maintain it? Do we take time to look within and say, I gotta fix this area, I gotta fix this area, I gotta fix this area? That's all the fear's really doing to you at the end of the day. It's saying, like, you want to do something. Let's pump your fear up so that you can take this action and do it. And if you have to change fear to another term, you need to change it to excitement so that I'm excited to do something. then change it to that. Because all it is bringing you to life if you allow it to. If you act on it, it's going to bring you to life, and it's going to make what you're doing that much easier. But if you sit on it, how much gas does it take to fill up a car? Full tank. So you fill up a car. If you fill up a car to 100% capacity, you have a drivable car with 100% capacity of gas fuel. But what happens if you overfill it? It doesn't run better because you filled it, you've overflown it. It doesn't make it a better car. You can change the tank you're using. That way you can fill it up with more gas. But filling up a tank that can only take so much, it's not a good thing to do. So why do some people do that to themselves? They have this glass, change the glass. But don't change the fact that you have to act. If you get scared of a mountain, start with a smaller mountain. You might not be ready for that other mountain. Start with a hill. Just start. That's all it is. Just start. And heck, I want to challenge the big mountain. Challenge the big mountain, but do it in steps. Increment it. Break it down. You might not be ready to run up that mountain yet. That's fine. You might need to challenge that mountain and taking small steps, left, right. Just keep moving. I made a video about momentum. If you keep moving, even if you fall, do your best to fall forward. And if you fall back, get your ass up and keep moving anyway. Because you know, when it's all said and done, it's going to be worth it. Overcome. This is a journey about overcoming. And when you overcome an obstacle over and over and over again, if you just focus on you, eventually, I believe you're going to want to help people. Help them overcome. Because it really is not that hard of a thing to do when you've done it enough times. It's like, oh man, this is a step-by-step process. Okay. That's the only difference between the successful and the not successful. They practice things so many times, they just get great at it after a while. And the thing is, you can't, well, Cliff, I do practice things. But if you're just practicing it half-ass, or you go to one thing and then you fail at it, then you're like, this didn't work, you go to the next and you fell at it. No, you just keep failing forward. Because eventually, you'll become great at that thing. And maybe it isn't your thing. Maybe you have to have a serious discussion with yourself and say, what do I really want to do in this world? What do I want to do? What do I want to be great at? Because when you're focusing on your greatness, the fear, it subsides. Because you're too focused. You're using it as energy. But ask yourself that question. What do I want to do in this world? What do I want to become? Because you might be doing something that you really don't want to do. I'm a big believer in following your passion. I talk about that a lot. But I like listening to counter arguments too. It keeps me on my toes. And there's a lot of people who say don't follow your passion. It's not worth it. It doesn't pay the bills. It doesn't do certain things. You follow what you need to do. Dan Locke actually mentioned it too. And he made a good point. He goes, if you're passionate about losing weight, or if you're passionate about pizza, but you want to lose weight, you can't think it off. You can't say, I love pizza, but I want to lose weight anyway. You have to follow it with action. So you have to take pizza out. But my argument to that, because I agree with everything Dan says, we just have a different way of presenting it to people, I guess I would say. We have our own ways, our own unique ways of presenting it to people. When you are passionate enough, and truly passionate enough to lose weight, you will do it. If it is not something you are passionate about, you will not do it. So that is what I mean by follow your passion. Following your passion means dealing with the consequences that you have to deal with and making it right enough to deal with it. And so some of the best kind of gurus, I'll give you Gary Vaynerchuk. I'll give you Tim Ferriss, love his channel. Dan Locke. Let me think of a few others. Let's see. Believe Nation. Evan Carmichael, great dude. He actually comments on most of his YouTubers' comment section. And he has almost 2 million followers. That guy's awesome. You know, and he's all about believe in yourself. And so, let me break it down to you this way. So I listen to these guys, and they're very knowledgeable. They really know their stuff. And the biggest thing is, as I take this journey, I'm doing it my way. Like, I take their stuff in, but I have my way of presenting certain things. I've been taking this stuff in for a long, long time. I like thinking about where I want to go, what I want to do, and how I'm going to make it happen. And I think if I had to pick who I most relate to, it would probably be Evan Carmichael, just because he is about believing in people and believing in entrepreneurs and getting them to their destiny. And I want to just do the same thing, but I want to do it in my way. Because why would I be a carbon copy of an Evan Carmichael? It wouldn't work for me. It doesn't make sense. You be your best you. Invest in you. Look in that mirror and get ready. Buck up. Get ready to do your great things. Get ready to enjoy your journey and live a life of fulfillment. It's all up to you. You get to make the decision. Well, that just made me a little more scared saying that I'm giving you the reins. It's kind of scary when you know you have the reins to your own life. Well, that's okay, because it'll subside too. Because then you realize I have to take action. Then you realize that you have to take action and you have to move forward. And the only person getting you out of the hole that you might have created for yourself is you. I have a saying where I say I stand up for people until they can stand up for themselves. I believe in people that much. I'm always going to believe in people. I had my dark moment with an ex-girlfriend. It's another video, and you can check that out, and you can see how I got out of my dark moment. But hopefully that never happens again. I can't promise anything because I don't know what the future holds. I can only act in the now. Luckily, I didn't stay in that dark place too long. Luckily, I started moving in the direction that I needed to move into and got out of it and realized I had a team who would support me no matter what, who's going to be there for me no matter what. And that drove me to not only be great for myself, but to help others find their greatness and to also be great for them until they were ready to find their greatness. You can't help a person getting somewhere by making them feel like absolute crap. You do have to challenge them. You do have to call them on their stuff, but you have to empathize as well. Without empathy, it just won't work. I'm sure everybody's had someone that was extra hard on them. But when you knew it was coming from a place of love, it made it okay. But if a person just being hard on you just to break you down and make you feel like crap, and your glass isn't ready to fill up that high, get away from those type of people. Get away from them. They're not helping you. They're not benefiting you. Eventually, your glass is going to get so large. Your fuel engine's going to get so large. You're going to be able to take a lot more mess. I want to protect my team, to help my team. put them in the right position to be successful. And if they're not ready to take a lot of criticism, I'll stand up for them until they are ready to take that criticism. I know I can take a lot of criticism. It's easy for me to do. It's the moment, because when you do enough things, it's just like, okay, they said a word to me. That's cool. Like, but if you're not used to taking that criticism, I'm not going to say to you, hey, it's just a word. Don't worry about it. Because it might be bigger than a word to you. And I'll support you through it. You'll be okay. You're going to be all good. You're going to find your success. Just focus on the task at hand. Try to block out the noise. I'll tell you when you're messing up. I'll tell you when you're making mistakes. But I'm not going to do it in a way of putting my thumb over you, making you feel like a piece of crap. That doesn't help anybody get anywhere. That honestly just makes the situation worse. That puts them in a position of destruction. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day. I went way over this time. When I get in the moment, I just get rolling with it. So I walked over 30 minutes. I want to thank you guys for that, actually. You guys have been making my treadmill walks that much easier. Oh, I also want to say, it's largely important to me. So after I've talked in front of the camera for a few times and it felt weird, all of you have made it that much easier, because now with comments, I know that I'm talking to a human being, several human beings for that matter, and that makes it pretty cool. So I appreciate you all, and you all have a great day. Thank you.